everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the BJ and Tuds show. As always, I am joined by Tuds. How are we doing today, Tuds?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
All right, so last time we talked, we were ready to jump in the conference finals. So we got the Mavs Warriors. The Warriors are up 3-0. I still believe that this series, obviously, I thought this one was going 7. And Luka has not disappointed at all, and I'm not going to blame any of the losses on Luka Doncic.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do believe they should be up 2-1. I'll tell you why. They blew a 20-something lead pretty much in the third quarter of game 2, which is pretty inexcusable. Is that fair? Is that the one you think they should have won? Because I know you and I talked about it a little today.
Well, no, because I think they should have won the next one.
Game 3.
But if you blow a 20-point lead, doesn't that mean you don't deserve to win it? Like, I know they had the lead, but
my whole point is you're not supposed to blow 20-point leads.
Exactly. And if you do, then you definitely don't deserve it.
Sure. But let's take game 3 in Boston-Miami series, for example. The Heat blew a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter, got to 1, but they found a way to win because they were the better team that night.
That was a different circumstance, though, because
fair.
When you take away one of the best defenders in the league, like the Celtics were scoring at will in the second half, and that's because Butler wasn't there.
That's fair. Anyways, now going on to game 3, I also think they should have won this one. Luka had 40, 11, and 3. I mean, the 3 assists is kind of, yes, you're like, whoa, that's a low number for assists. But Reggie Bullock, Davis Bertans, and Maxi Kleber went 1 for 18 from the field.
Yeah.
And they ended up losing by 9.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 1 for 18. That's about as abysmal as it gets.
Yeah. Like, the thing with the Mavericks is, they don't have a great roster around Luka, but they usually have enough to help him out when he can't, do everything. And this game, he was really all on his own.
Well, I mean, besides Luka, the Mavericks roster, like right now, I'm not including, Tim Hardaway Jr. He's hurt. He's not playing in the series. But the Mavs roster is constructed with a bunch of second-round picks and undrafted free agents. I know JJ Redick was talking about this. I know it was on ESPN. I'm not exactly sure what show, but I mean, the roster is it's not great. The fact they're here is surprising, but they do have some of these guys that have stepped up and helped out carry a load a little bit, like Brunson and Dinwiddie, but you need those shooters to start knocking down shots if you even want to win a game in this series.
Yeah. And then, like, the thing with the Warriors roster is, like, Curry's always going to do his thing, but when Clay and Jordan Poole aren't on, then you have Andrew Wiggins who just goes on.
Yes, exactly.
And the Mavericks don't have, like, the guys to do that.
Right.
Like, if Doncic isn't going off, you're not going to have a guy that's going to go put up, like, 30 points.
And that's what happened game 1. I mean, Luka finished with 20 points. He was 6 for 18 from the field. And yes, he's responded nicely, but yeah, they lost 112-87. It wasn't close.
And that's the reason that the Warriors are like the most dominant team left in the playoffs, is because they have so many of those guys that can take over ball games.
Yeah.
And you don't need the same players to be going off every game, like the Celtics and the Mavericks do.
Right. Steph Curry, I'm not trying to take anything away from the Warriors. Obviously, a great team. I just think these games are closer than score reflects. Like the series is closer than it reflects, is what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
Like Steph Curry has the game 1, 21, 12, 4. Game 2, 32, 8, and 5. Game 3, 31, 5, and 11. I mean, he's been downright nasty. He's doing everything on the floor.
Yeah.
They're going to be really, really tough. I mean, I don't see them losing 4 straight. That's not happening. So they're going to go to the finals, and they're going to be a tough out for either Miami or Boston.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right now, if I was to place a bet on who's to win the NBA championship, it'd be the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
But let's jump to the Heat Celtics series. So this one, we're knotted up at 2.
Mm-hmm.
Been a very weird series.
Very weird.
It's, I don't want to say it like it's a shitty series, because, I just enjoy watching basketball. I don't really care if it's a 20-point game, but
I'm going to go ahead and say it's a shitty series.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm not enjoying it.
All right, that's fine. I can understand that.
Yeah.
But like, it feels like I know we have like the Miami wins have been closer.
Mhm.
Like 118, 107, 109, 103, but game 3 was not close until the fourth quarter.
Mhm.
And game 1, the third quarter, the Celtics, I think, had like 1 or 2 field goals, maybe.
Yeah.
So like those weren't close. And then the 2 games Boston won were just absolute blowouts. You got a 25-point win in game 2 and then a 20-point win last night.
Yeah, that's the thing with the series is like the Celtics are obviously the better, more well-rounded, not more well-rounded, but deeper team.
I agree.
So I can't see Miami ever blowing the Heat out, Celtics. Miami ever blowing the Celtics out.
Yeah.
So that's why I think their wins have been very grinded out.
Right.
And very full four-quarter games. Every possession matters.
Absolutely.
And the Celtics are good enough where that's not always going to be the case for them when they win.
That's yeah. And so you, myself, and some other kids we know, we kind of got in this argument today about Jayson Tatum. And so how it started is, there was this graphic about where they had Jimmy's stat line through the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all just playoff numbers. It's Jimmy Butler, Steph, JT, and Luka. And it said one has to go. And I said, it's got to be JT. Numbers were lower on every category besides, I think his assists were higher than Jimmy Butler's.
Yeah.
And his total shooting percentage was lower than everybody else's.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, I mean, you just look at the numbers. Yeah, you got to take Jayson Tatum off the list.
Yep.
And I wasn't even like trying to disrespect Jayson Tatum because I know he's a very talented player. And I'm not saying Jimmy Butler's a better player than Jayson Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe Jimmy Butler has a lot more value to the Miami Heat than Jayson Tatum has to the Celtics. This was my whole argument.
Yeah, that was the biggest part of the argument is that the people we were arguing with, first of all, called Jayson Tatum a superstar, which he's not.
No, I agree with that.
I had someone tell me that Jayson Tatum's 10 times the offensive player as Jimmy Butler.
Which is not true.
It's just simply not true.
If you said he's 10 times the 3-point shooter Jimmy Butler is, I can live with that.
And that was my argument. I go, shooting's not everything. There's other ways to score the basketball.
Jimmy Butler had a 40-point game in game 1 and he didn't make a single 3.
Exactly. Like my argument was, I go, so Seth Curry is better than LeBron James at offense, if that's your argument.
It's like, no.
And another thing that really pisses me off is that people they just like when we argue sports, people love to just throw away defense. Yeah. Like it doesn't matter.
Sure.
Like half of every game, half of your season, think about it, 82 games in the NBA season, correct?
Yes.
Theoretically, 41 games are all spent on defense.
Okay, I see.
And you're gonna just throw away defense when arguing players. Like Jimmy Butler is one of the premier defenders in the entire league. You can't just throw that away.
Right.
They act like it's 90% offense, 10% defense, and it just makes zero sense.
Well, I understand why they do, because offense, there's the statistics, they're more tangible. You can see them, and like that's what you watch when you're watching basketball. You're watching what the offense is doing. I'm with you on the defensive standpoint. I do believe Jayson Tatum has slightly improved as a perimeter defender. I do believe that. However, he's not even close in the same stratosphere as Jimmy Butler is defensively.
Yep.
And that's okay. They don't need him to be.
Yeah.
Like that team plays the Celtics play such good team defense.
Yep.
They let Rob Williams float. The way they switch, they got the defensive player of the year on the team.
Yeah, their defensive system's always tremendous.
Like when I was making this argument, I'm just saying, like my belief, if you take Jimmy Butler off the Miami Heat are probably not a playoff team.
100%. Mm-hmm.
Maybe an 8, maybe an 8. Sneak in the 8 seed. Okay.
Yep.
Now, my belief, you take Jayson Tatum off the Celtics, I think they're the 4 seed.
They're still a 4, 5, 6 seed for sure.
Are they better? So you take Tatum off the Celtics, so they're no longer the 2 seed. You
Mhm.
move Milwaukee up to 2. You move the Sixers up to 4 or 3, sorry.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna tell me that the Celtics aren't better than the Raptors?
Yeah.
And even if you believe so, fine, they're the 5. But like,
Right. Yeah.
there's no way they're not the 4 seed. Expect the East is fairly weak once you get past those top 4 teams.
Mm-hmm. And like we said, we both agree that Tatum's a better player than Butler, like all
Absolutely.
around. Just because, like, for me, Tatum has that ability to completely take over a basketball game that Butler, I don't think, can, like, offensively. Tatum,
Sure.
when Tatum's on, he's dominant. He'll take over the game, put the team on his back.
Game 7 of the Milwaukee series. He was incredible in the 4th quarter.
But if you want to call a dude a superstar, you can't disappear every other game. You can't drop 40 and take over the game and then disappear the next game every time.
This is my thing with the whole superstar. I feel like it is the most overused words to describe a player in sports.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, in the NBA, there are 7 or 8 superstars.
Yeah, if that.
If that, right?
Yep.
I mean, if there you have Luka, Giannis, Bron, KD, Steph, Jokic, and Embiid.
Mm-hmm.
That's 7. Nobody else in the league is a superstar right now.
Maybe Dame. It's tough because he didn't play.
Maybe.
But yeah, if you're not calling a Dame a superstar, you're not calling Tatum a superstar.
Right. That's my point.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not going to be one someday because he has everything to be that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just not right now.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, like my whole thing, like, so some blowback I got when I compared him to Jimmy Butler was, well, Jimmy Butler's a 10-year vet. He's like 32, 33. Tatum's only 24. I'm like, what does age have to do with it? He's a 5-year vet.
We're comparing them right now too. Like it doesn't.
He's a 5-year veteran.
Mm-hmm.
Luka Doncic is a 3-year veteran who is a superstar and I believe is the best player in the world.
Yeah, right.
23.
Mm-hmm.
So where's the age matter?
Yeah, the age doesn't matter. Like, we're not projecting Tatum's career. We're not saying he's never going to be one.
No, right.
We're talking about in the playoffs right now.
Exactly. And that's just my whole, like, that's, and I think part of it is like just the fan base of Boston. And I'll admit to this, being a Patriots fan, it's like we hold people pretty tight and we revere them higher than they should be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you ask anybody around here who's the best Patriots receiver or the best receiver in the league, like 10 years or 5 years ago, they would all say Julian Edelman.
Yeah, very true.
And it's like, well, no, but yes, he's solid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
I'm not comparing Tatum and Edelman, like, but I'm just saying.
I know what you mean though, for sure. Yeah.
That's how Boston fans are.
Mm-hmm.
So I do understand it.
Yeah.
Like my brother, he's great basketball mind. He's an incredible basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, he's such a green teamer where he said Derek White is a better player than Jordan Poole right now. And I was like,
my God.
Okay,
oh my
that's
God.
enough. I'm like, that's enough.
That's a tough take.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's my whole thing.
I really wish we had one of them on to, like, because we both have the same take on this.
Yes.
And I would have loved to argue, but they know that their evidence isn't good enough.
Well,
they like it's.
And that was my whole thing. It was like I was giving game logs and examples, and all I got was that's a bad take. And I'm like, okay.
I was throwing out numbers too, and they're like, yeah, we're not talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, who do you like to win this series?
Celtics, man. Celtics.
Okay.
I know it's tied right now,
but
I really can't imagine the Heat winning this series.
If this series goes 7,
mm-hmm.
I'm taking the Heat.
I think it's going to be Celtics in 6 at this point.
If the Celtics are going to win, it's going to be in 6.
Okay, yeah, I could agree with that.
If the Celtics don't win game 5, I would take the Heat in 7.
Okay.
I think the last thing Boston wants to do is go play a game 7 in South Beach. I mean, it's a tough place to play.
Yeah, and Boston's TD Garden's a tough place to play right now too for an away team.
Absolutely. But they got to make sure they take care of business game 5 first.
Yeah.
So, but if I had to pick one, I would lean Boston in 6.
Mm-hmm.
If it goes 7, I would take Miami.
Okay.
So, do you have any finals MVP futures? I know you sent one the other day.
I do. So I was just looking just to look, and I saw Jordan Poole, and I was like, well, the Warriors are probably going to win.
Absolutely.
Curry's never won a finals MVP. So why not throw $10 on Jordan Poole?
I don't hate it. I told you, I don't hate it.
It was 10 to win like 175. So I was like, why not?
Oh yeah, why not?
He can absolutely go, like, Iguodala won the MVP in like 2015.
Yeah, right.
Like it's
just
you don't need to be the best player on the team. Like and Jordan Poole's kind of his first series was great.
Yeah.
He's been a little quieter this series.
Yes.
So I think he could be due to really pop off again in the championship series.
Absolutely.
But it's tough because he's not a starter right now.
Yeah.
And it's pretty tough to be a sixth man and win the MVP. But they can throw. You don't know. They can throw Poole in the starting lineup.
You got to really fill up the stat sheet.
You're really gonna pop
if you're gonna be the 6-man finals MVP.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one right now, I would. I mean, I know it's pretty original, but the way Steph's playing right now,
and he's got to win at least one finals MVP.
I'm sure. I haven't looked recently. I'm sure he's the favorite.
He is.
Yeah. So I mean, that doesn't.
He's like minus 150, and then everybody else is like plus money.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then if I had to pick another one that I would maybe lean Draymond.
Okay.
Just because, you get everything else with him. And if, it's a slugfest kind of series, which it very well could be with the way these teams play defense.
Yep.
I mean, that's how Iggy won.
Mm-hmm. So
maybe Draymond. But, I mean, yeah. I definitely.
I will say I don't see Clay being able to win it.
No.
He's
not been good, really.
He hasn't been great. He's been pretty average for Clay. He's been pretty average.
Yeah.
And I think he'll continue to do his job, but I don't see him popping off and taking a finals MVP. I think it's going to be –
No.
I think it's going to be Curry.
The only game that really I can remember that Clay played really well was game 6 against the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
But other than that, he's been he's just been doing his job out there being solid. So – which is fine. I mean, they don't really need him to go score 30 or 25 a night. So that's fine. But anyways, I know you've prepared another name this player from a certain era NBA for me.
I have.
Okay.
Let's jump into it.
All right, let's jump right into this. This first player, that's Ish Smith.
It is Ish Smith. And before we go on, you got 11 last time. I think this could be a little harder.
Okay.
But let's see if you can top 11 and get 12. Right?
Okay. That's Ish
1 for 1 with Ish Smith.
1 for 1. Here we go. Oh, that's I know this guy. God.
He has a very recognizable face.
Damn.
I know you know it. I'm not gonna let you go past. I'm not gonna let you skip. You know this guy.
Oh no, I do know this guy. That's is it Sessions?
Yes.
Ramon Sessions?
Yes, sir. Attaboy.
Go. 2 for 2. Oh, damn, I know this one too. That's Rondé Hollis Jefferson.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Attaboy.
Dario Saric.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what the hell is this guy's name? I know who this is.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to piss me off because I'm not going to get it.
You don't think so?
No, I can't remember his name. Fuck. All right, who's that?
Garrett Temple.
Garrett Temple. That's one I should have had. Damn it.
I thought you would have got that one.
I should have got that one.
I think you're 3 for 4? 4 for 5, maybe?
4 for 5, I believe.
Easy one.
Charlie Villanueva.
Yep.
My boy.
He's got alopecia.
Yes, sir.
Another easy one.
Tayshaun Prince.
Yep.
Alex Len.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not a shame to beat. Wait, it's a shame to beat.
Yeah.
There it is. He kind of looks like Grant Williams. I know it's not.
A little bit.
Chris Duhan.
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
Wasn't sure you were gonna get that one.
Jamal Mashburn.
No.
Oh, it's Jerry Stackhouse.
Yep, we'll give it to you. We'll
Damn
give it to you.
Yeah.
We'll give it to you. Tough one.
He looks very familiar. Thomas Robinson.
Nice. I didn't think you'd get it with the Nets jersey.
I honestly couldn't even tell you where he played in the NBA.
I know he got drafted by the Kings. He was my favorite college player of all time.
Kansas legend.
Yes.
That is David West.
Yep. Then we got two more.
Quentin Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Hill.
Nice. Look at you. Would you only miss one?
I only missed Garrett Temple, who I should have fucking had.
Wow, I thought you were gonna do worse on that.
Fuck.
Well done.
Thank you. I wish I got Garrett Temple. Damn it.
I know. I thought that I didn't think you were getting Thomas Robinson.
I knew his face, and then I was like, wait, Kansas. And then I was like, that's yes, okay, I got it.
Yeah, I didn't think you were gonna get Chris Duhan. That was a good one.
That was a good one. It was a good one.
Well done. 14.
Thank you. I'm proud of that one.
You give me no choice but to go even harder next time.
Beautiful. Bring it on.
All right. We'll move on to baseball. Just talk about a few topics. The Josh Donaldson whole deal with Tim Anderson. Do you know the whole story? Do you have any opinion on it?
Yes, I do. Okay, listen. I don't think it was a racial thing.
I think they're turning it into a racial thing.
Well, yes, right. And, I'm not trying to be controversial or anything like that, but the climate of, I'm not trying to make it political or anything like that either, but the climate of where we're at in this country right now, anything that could be racist, we kind of turn into like, oh, what do we do? And we just, and they suspended him a game.
That's the thing with that. I think if they really deemed it to be racist, he'd get more than a game.
Oh, absolutely.
He'd get way more than a game. I think a game is like, we have to do something.
Right.
Like our hands are tied. We have to do something. A game is like nothing.
It's all about public optics at that point.
Yeah. It's like we did something.
But this is my thing. If let's say somebody, let's just make it a different sport to let's say, I'm trying to think of a player.
I had a good example.
Let's say Tatum says he's Michael Jordan, the next Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
You're not going to be, okay, Mike, you got it, buddy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't really think he was calling him Jackie because he's a black middle infielder.
Yeah.
It's because Tim Anderson says he feels he's this era's Jackie Robinson, which is absurd.
Mm-hmm.
But he's going to get shit for it.
Yeah. You can't say shit like that.
No.
And expect not to get poked fun at a little bit.
Absolutely.
My example was, let's just use two white baseball players.
Okay.
Let's say Joey Gallo. When he was doing really good on the Rangers, he goes, I feel like today's Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
And another white player goes whatever, Babe.
Literally
pokes fun at him. It's the same exact thing, but if a black player is involved, we immediately go to racism.
Right.
I don't think Donaldson's stupid enough, even if he was racist, which I don't believe he is at all.
I think he's just an asshole.
Yes. Yeah.
Which there's a difference between an asshole and a racist.
He's been an asshole his whole career.
Right.
And he was an asshole in that spot, but I think it was pretty blasphemous he got suspended, but I understand they have to do something.
So I was kind of surprised at Aaron Judge kind of saying he was in the wrong for calling him Jackie.
Yeah. I think when Judge said that, it was more of he shouldn't have been saying anything, just focusing on his own team.
Sure.
I don't think Judge was saying he thought it was a little racist. I don't think Judge
No,
thought that.
I don't think he was either, but I was just surprised he publicly said that. I don't know if he should have said that. Also, I saw something earlier, like before we got on, that Tim Anderson said he told Donaldson to stop calling him Jackie in like 2019.
I just saw that too.
I didn't read any further into it. I just didn't know. I think that just goes back to Donaldson being an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a really, I just think that's all it is.
Yeah.
But I heard he appealed it.
Donaldson did appeal it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's one game. Just take your day off.
Yeah. But I think it's about the principle of the thing.
That's fair.
Donaldson is like, I'm not going to get suspended if I didn't say anything racist.
That's
his mindset. And I think it's fair to fight for that, even though
absolutely.
Yeah.
What was your next talking point? Baseball.
So one more talking point I had was I saw an updated AL MVP odds.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who's number 1 right now?
Is it still Shohei?
It's still Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
And
I know where you're going.
Is this going to be a thing we see every year that just because he pitches, we saw this with the Rookie of the Year, right?
Yeah.
When he beat out Miguel Andujar, and it made no sense at the time.
Right.
But is this going to be a thing that every year he's going to be the favorite because he does both?
I mean,
it looks like it.
I think, is he going to win the MVP every year? No. But will he be the betting favorite at least to start every year? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
mean, it's just, I'm not even do I like it? No. But I think it's smart from a bookmaker standpoint to be like, okay, well, this guy's pretty damn good at both. So I guess we'll just make him the favorite. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just seeing Trout and Judge behind Shohei. Shohei's pitching's been good this year, but his batting stats they're good. They're not MVP worthy though.
Sure. Well,
he's batting around 250 with I think 8 home runs, which is good. But Aaron Judge is out here demolishing baseballs every game, batting 315.
The fact last I saw, Aaron Judge was plus 450,
mm-hmm.
and I was like, he's been the best player in baseball.
Easily the best player in baseball so far.
How are we at plus 450?
Yeah.
I'm literally gonna buy some right after this show because it's this is probably the lowest it's gonna get, and he's playing the best he probably can.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
He can't play better. He cannot hit better than he is right now.
He has 17 home runs.
17 home runs. I think the next highest is 12.
I was gonna say nobody's within 5.
And he's batting 315. He's usually a 270, 280
I was
hitter.
Gonna say, which is incredible for a guy who hits for the amount of power he does.
Insane. It's unheard of.
So, I mean, I found that weird. I heard that today, and I found that really weird.
Yeah.
But I think it does. They're gonna. I don't blame them for banking Shohei's going to turn it around at the dish.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he can be the favorite right now.
Yeah, it's just something that I know is going to annoy me every year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because no matter how good Shohei is doing, if he's doing decent at both, he's going to be top 3 in MVP.
He's going to be up there.
Yeah.
And it is what it is at this point. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I saw the NL MVP race is wide open.
Yeah, I haven't taken a look at it.
I think
Machado. Oh, I actually think I did see. Machado's up there at the top.
Yeah, Machado is the favorite right now at plus 250.
Yeah, I think Nolan was second, around plus 500.
Yeah, something like that. And then I think it was Soto, Acuna. There's just a bunch of guys in that mix kind of there. It just seems wide open.
Yeah.
So I was listening to a podcast today. They were making a case for Eric's boy, CJ Cron, to be up there.
Yeah.
And then they started talking about all the Rockies that got robbed of an MVP because they play for the Rockies.
Mm-hmm.
Todd, I think they brought up Todd Helton in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
He led 7 offensive categories and he came in 5th Jeff Kent won the MVP and didn't lead in one category.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, Jesus.
That's the thing with MVP in all sports. Your team has to be a top contender
Yeah.
for the
Well,
most
and
part.
you know,
For the most part,
it's for the
unless
most
you're like
part.
Mike Trout.
Right. Exactly. But and you can't have that like voter fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it was 96 or 97. Jordan should have won the MVP over Karl Malone.
Yeah.
But Jordan could have won 12 MVPs.
Yeah.
Just like LeBron. LeBron could have won.
LeBron
10.
could have like 12, 13 MVPs by now.
Like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning should have won MVP every damn year.
Yeah, like what does Tom have? Like 2 MVPs?
2 or 3.
Yeah, like
I mean, honestly, you should have just picked the 2 of them. Whoever had a better year that year is your MVP.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense sometimes.
Yeah. Voters like to get creative nowadays.
Oh yeah, and it's just like, what are we doing?
Yeah. But it's like, who's the best that we didn't think was going to be this good? Well, that's kind of most improved, not MVP, right?
It seems that way sometimes.
Yeah.
It does seem that way sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised. I mean, not surprised. Like Jokic, I know we're getting in basketball, but I was surprised Jokic won it this year. I thought it would be Embiid.
Yeah.
But I don't know. MVP, the whole, they're just a bunch of old guys, really, when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
Especially baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the Hall of Fame voters, I'm like, what do we like?
Yeah, some of the Hall of Fame votes are really bad.
Like I saw this guy, he sent in a blank ballot. He didn't vote for anybody to get in the Hall. I'm like, what are you there for?
Yeah.
Literally, what are you there for?
Yep.
Like Derek Jeter to not be unanimous.
I know.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, it's probably a Sox fan. Makes sense.
That's got to be the only reason.
Yeah.
It's got to be the only reason. All right, why don't we jump into some football?
Let's.
Okay, so today for football, we're going to kind of do a standings prediction through each division and our award predictions. So you got AFC and NFC, offensive rookie and defensive rookie, MVP, offensive player of the year, and defensive player of the year. Okay. Where do we want to go? All AFC, or do we want to go AFC East, NFC?
Yeah, we'll do all AFC first.
Okay.
Whatever one you want to start at.
Let's start with the AFC East then.
All right, that's what I got first.
I mean,
I will say a lot of these were very easy for me to make.
Yes.
Easy for me to make.
Yes.
The AFC North was the hardest.
AFC North was difficult.
And I have something that might shock you in here. So
I got something that might shock you.
Okay.
AFC East, I got the Jets 4.
Me as well.
I think they are improved.
They are. But you saw the first half of their schedule, right?
Yeah, they're gonna go 1-8 at best.
Yeah.
So I mean, at that point, it's a lost season. Like whether you want to believe that or not, it is.
Oh, it is. They start off with the whole AFC North in a row.
Yeah.
Then they got like Packers, Broncos, Patriots,
Dolphins in there.
Yeah, like it's nuts.
It sucks. Number 3, I have the Dolphins.
Okay, I have the Patriots at 3.
And this was kind of a toss-up for me.
Yeah, I think it'll be super close between those two.
I don't know. I just don't trust Tua.
Me either.
So
I think it depends on the corners we drafted.
Yes, I agree.
Both Marcus Jones.
Yes.
And Jack Jones.
Yes.
Like from what I've seen of them, I like, but they're both pretty smaller, quicker guys. Sure. So we have to see what they can do at an NFL level.
Absolutely.
That's an extremely important position. And if they pan out, then I think we could come in second division.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was a coin flip for me. I think they'll probably have identical records. They'll probably
be like a game off.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think either make the playoffs, so it's really not going to matter at the end of the day.
Yeah, agreed.
And then, obviously, we both have the Bills.
Yep.
I mean, there's not much more you can say about the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go AFC North.
Okay.
4, I have the Steelers.
I have the Steelers 4 as well.
Which just feels wrong to me.
Yeah, but what are you going to do?
It's just in a division with all those quarterbacks. Mitchell Trubisky's just not that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a quarterback driven league.
And the rest of the division has pretty good lines, and the Steelers don't have that at all either.
At all.
Yeah.
At all. Number 3, go ahead.
I have the Browns number 3.
Okay. I have the Bengals.
Yeah, I thought you would.
Yeah. And it's no disrespect to the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
I just really love what the Browns did this offseason. And the Ravens got a lot healthier. And I think that's really all they needed to do.
Yeah, and added 2 great draft picks too for the Ravens.
And they just added Kyle Fuller today.
Yep.
And I think that's a low-key great ad for them.
Yeah.
So number 2, I have the Browns.
I have the Ravens at number 2.
Okay. You still have the Bengals winning the division?
I still do. I can't, like, I get why you have them lower. I just can't put them lower than 1 because of how much they added to the O-line. That was their biggest problem.
Absolutely.
And they've got Lyle Collins, Ted Karras, Alex Kappa. Like, they added very good O-linemen to the weaker point of their team.
Yep.
And I can't bring them down from last year for doing that.
So I'm not saying the Bengals are going to be 4 games out of first place. Like, obviously that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals defense overperformed last year.
That's fair.
And I expect that drop off here.
Mm-hmm.
So I could be just flat out wrong. And I could be wrong about the Bengals. They could win this division, go back to the Super Bowl. Who knows?
Yeah.
But just something doesn't feel right to me about the Bengals winning that division again.
That's fair. Yeah, I think their secondary is a little concerning, and I do think their secondary overperformed. But that D line is so good. You know, Henderson,
it is good.
Sam Hubbard. I forgot who they added a D tackle, but they have 2 good D tackles still.
Yep.
So their D line's more like it's up there.
Yep.
But I agree, their secondary is a concern for sure.
Yeah, and especially in today's passing league, it's like I'm just not sure. I have to see it first this year. Everybody can, not everybody, but you can do it 1 year. Like, look at Jacksonville in 2017 or 2018.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can do it 1, but who knows?
Yeah.
Let's jump to the AFC South. I mean, who do you have last? Texans or Jacksonville?
Texans.
I do as well.
So we have the same 4.
Yeah, it's Texans, Texans, Jacksonville, Titans, Colts.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think this is the Colts got better. I think they got better by losing Carson Wentz in general.
Yep.
And then adding Matt Ryan only makes it that much better.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Titans, I mean, they traded away their best weapon.
Lost AJ Brown.
Yep.
You know, their star running back getting up there in age.
Exactly.
And bigger guys like that, they can't take they can only take so many hits, you know?
Well, you can't give him the work he's had the past. It's too much.
Yeah.
Man.
And like a guy that big where you have to go to the ankles, like we saw this with Gronk.
Yeah.
Once you play so many years, like of that volume,
it adds up.
Those hits add up. And
I wouldn't be shocked if Jacksonville finishes with a game within Tennessee or tied with Tennessee.
Okay.
I really don't. I think Jacksonville is much improved.
They are.
Like, yes, they overpaid some people, but I mean, when you're Jacksonville, you kind of have to spend a little bit of coin to get some of these players to come play in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So I understand it, but I think they're much improved.
Yeah, I'm just still very concerned with Jacksonville's defense.
And I don't blame you at all.
Yeah.
Don't blame you at all. So now we're going to the AFC West.
Yep.
This is going to shock you.
Okay.
I have the Chiefs finishing last.
That doesn't shock me.
Okay.
It really doesn't. Because I know you're higher on the Raiders. So if the Raiders aren't last, the Chiefs have to be last. Right?
Do you have the Raiders last?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you knew that from our other
I
video.
know, but
It's the defense thing. Like
that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
their defense, like
I hear you.
it. I know they added a very old Chandler Jones.
Who can still ball.
He could. I know they have two very good DNs, which is important, but everything else about that defense, I don't like at all.
That's fair.
And that's on them just missing pick after pick after pick on defense.
Well, yeah, they haven't been able to hit.
Like they haven't been able to hit any secondary player. Yep. Arquette.
Yes.
Damon Arquette.
Who was the corner? Is that the corner with the gun thing on Instagram?
He was the Ohio State corner.
Arnett. Arnett.
Oh, Arnett. Damon
Okay,
Arnett.
yeah.
Like every top 10 defensive pick they make is a complete bust.
Yeah.
And they just don't have the secondary, the linebackers.
Yep.
Especially to compete with these offenses in their division.
You could make an argument they have the best offense in the division, though.
Yeah, you could, but you need a balance of both.
I agree. I'm just saying you could make that argument.
Also, the Raiders O-line is not good. Another massive bust was just grabbing Alex Leatherwood at pick 15 because he was an Alabama tackle.
Yes.
It was stupid then and still stupid now.
Yes. Yes.
So just a lot of holes. Their offense is good. They have great weapons, good quarterback, a lot of holes. And in a division that good, those holes are going to get exposed.
Sure. Well, especially, the Broncos and Chargers, especially. I have Broncos 3, Chargers 2. Just before I get into this, those are really good defenses too.
Yep.
Like I think the Chargers.
Those are two very complete teams.
Like the Chargers defense is much improved from what it was last year.
And Chargers and Bengals both have great O-lines too.
Yeah. So
not a lot of weaknesses for those.
Do you have the Chargers winning the division?
I do.
Then I'm gonna guess. Do you have Chiefs or Broncos?
I have Chiefs 3, Broncos 2.
Okay. All right. So I mean, we're not that far off from the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I think
they're bottom half of the division.
I think they take a massive hit this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think Tyreek Hill did more for that offense in terms of like opening other people up than really realize until we're going to see it this upcoming year.
Yeah.
And their defense isn't that good.
Yeah, not really.
Like you have Chris Jones. He's fantastic. Great player.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, is it D Ford or Frank Clark? Who's the one that's still there? Frank Clark, right?
Are they not both still there?
One of them went to Seattle. I'm almost positive.
I'm not sure.
Anyways, the secondary is.
And they lost Tyrann Mathieu,
Yeah. And they lost Sorensen, who stinks, but you still have to.
He wasn't great.
I mean, for him to be on the
field, think he went to the Saints too. Didn't they both go to the Saints?
Yes, they did. Yeah. Tyrann Mathieu's got to be furious.
Probably, yeah. He hated him.
But anyway, like for him to be on the field, he's clearly what they had.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because he was terrible.
Yeah.
So I'm very low on the Chiefs this year.
Yeah.
Very low.
Who was the Karlaftis they added?
Yes, who I do like.
Yeah, I mean, you got to see what he turns out to be.
Like Karlaftis. It's Frank Clark. He's the one still on.
Okay.
Kansas City.
The secondary is going to be a question for sure.
Yes, it is. All right, let's jump to the NFC East.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got at 4?
This one was tough. 2 and 4 were tough, or 4 and 3. I'm sorry, were tough for me.
Yes.
I have the Giants at 4.
Me as well.
Okay.
Me as well. I just don't. Daniel Jones, I don't see it.
Yeah.
The defense, I don't see it.
I truly think with the weapons they have, Tyrod Taylor is a better option right now. I'm not even kidding.
I don't disagree with you. I think Tyrod Taylor.
I think he'd work better in that offense.
I mean, he's been shafted out of so many starting jobs. I feel bad for the guy, but he would come in at least 3rd in this division.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see them better than the Cowboys or Eagles with Tyrod Taylor, but I think he would make them a better football team. Yes.
Yeah. And like I've said before, like Tyrod Taylor has never proven that he can't play in the NFL.
No, never.
He's been very unlucky.
I agree. So Commanders 3, I'm guessing. That's who I have as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're like does their defense show back up? Like, I don't understand what happened last year to that defense. They returned everybody and they were just awful.
I think their defense is going to be very middle of the pack.
Which, I mean, they have a lot of talented pieces.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not sure. I don't really see the Commanders or the Giants making a push.
Yeah, neither do I.
The two, like, number 2 in this division, but I mean, who knows? Carson Wentz is Carson Wentz. We know who he is now. He does dumb shit every game, and sometimes he's good. You never know.
Yeah, he'll win you random games too, though.
Yeah, right. So who do you have winning the division? Cowboys
I have the Eagles winning the division.
I do as well.
I had the Cowboys before the draft and before a lot of things happened.
I was going to say, because when we did the playoff thing, I had the Eagles, you and Eric had the Cowboys. So I was wondering if the AJ Brown and draft changed your mind.
Absolutely. AJ Brown, Jordan Davis, signing James Bradbury. Now you have 2 pretty good corners.
Yep.
I think that definitely puts them over the Cowboys.
I do too.
And it was already super close before that. So it was really a no-brainer after all those moves.
I agree.
And I saw something too, that there's never been a back-to-back NFC East winner since 2005.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And I'll tell you this.
Don't think that changes.
I'll tell you this right now. The Cowboys defense won't be what it was last year.
Yeah.
They're not. Trayvon Diggs is not getting 11 interceptions.
That's the most picks he's going to have in his whole career.
Yes. I think he'll be closer to allowing 1,000 yards than having 11 interceptions. Like he's not that good of a corner. He's I will give it to him. He was very opportunistic, and he's a good ball hawk. He knows how to play a football in the air.
Yeah.
So, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. NFC North. Give me your 4.
Bears. Gotta be Bears.
Yep.
Their roster's bad.
Oh, it's so bad.
Their roster's really bad. They've really done nothing to help Justin Fields on the O-line and in the receiver room.
Nope.
Like,
and it is a new management and stuff like that. So yes, you need to give them like at least 2 or 3 off seasons. But this year, the Bears, the Falcons weren't in the league. They might be picking first.
Dude, the Bears have the potential to be the worst team in the NFL. I think they really do. I think the Falcons, dude, I don't know.
I don't know.
The Bears don't have an AJ Terrell.
They don't, but that's only one player. He can throw to the other side.
The Bears have what's his name? Roquan Smith.
Yeah.
That's really
he's great.
Fantastic. But that's really it.
Yeah, it is really it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna guess you have Lions 3.
Correct.
Lions will be much improved.
I'm expecting a fun year out of the Lions.
I love watching the Lions.
I'm expecting a good fight.
Dan Campbell, everybody shit on this guy when he got hired because he's just a meathead, and all this. But those boys like playing for him. That means something.
And yes, they had a very bad record last year, but they lost a couple games they shouldn't have.
Yeah, Tucker hit a 66-yarder. They lost, or they tied with the Steelers.
Yep.
So I mean, there were some games they left on the board there.
And I think we've touched upon the Lions offense before.
It's actually not bad.
We besides Goff at quarterback, obviously that's not their future plans. So there's going to be change over the next 2 years.
The thing, the Rams, who were a better team than the Lions when Goff was on the Rams, but he brought the team to a Super Bowl. It's not like he can play. It's just he's not what you really want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
He can fill the hole for now.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
And a great running back room.
Oh, absolutely.
I love Jamal Williams as a backup. He's a great backup.
He really is.
He runs harder than a lot of running backs in the league do.
Yeah. And
he's great.
Great pass catcher.
He's a great pass catcher. He's great in between the tackles. Yeah. I love Jamal Williams as a second guy, especially behind DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
Their O-line's very good.
Yep.
Top 10, I would say.
Added Jameson Williams.
10. And then, Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams, TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah.
They have a pretty good offense.
It's
the defense that's gonna kind of suck.
Yeah, pretty much.
But they're working on it. Their first overall pick was a defender, so
Yeah.
they're working on it.
Who do you have winning this division?
I have the Packers. Their defense is too good.
I have the Vikings.
Okay.
I think it's a toss-up. I really do.
It's definitely close. It's definitely close.
I think the Packers lost too much on offense.
They did, but their defense was so good last year.
It was.
And they added 2 very good defenders in the draft in the first round.
I agree.
And you still got Rodgers, back-to-back MVP.
Yeah.
He makes average players look very good.
I agree.
Same way Tom Brady did with a lot of his receivers throughout his career.
I don't disagree with you.
So I do think it's going to be very close. But I have the Packers.
I do too. I like, the only reason I like the Vikings is I think I'm not saying I trust Kirk Cousins more to put me together a scoring drive, but they have enough weapons on offense. They could score like 40 points in multiple games this year.
Yeah.
So where the Packers, I think they're gonna win ugly. So I'm just a little more worried about the Packers offense. And I mean, you never know with I'm not going to doubt Aaron Rodgers, but you never know with a 38-year-old quarterback.
Yeah, true.
So, let's jump to the NFC South.
All right.
Do we have to talk about the Falcons and Panthers?
No.
I mean, they're 3-4, right?
Yeah, Falcons are 4, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, CJ Stroud, book it. Sorry, Desmond Ritter.
Yeah.
Sorry, Desmond Ritter.
Looking like, yeah, that's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a tough situation.
But, I mean, it's if you get the 1 or 2, you have to take Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So, and then the Panthers, I mean, they might be right there with them. I think their defense is actually.
I think they'll only be a little bit better than the Falcons, to be honest.
But whatever. And then do you have the Saints too?
Nope.
The Saints winning the divisions over the Bucs.
This is what I was talking about.
Okay.
I have the Saints winning the division.
Okay. Why?
So in the past 2 to 3 years, the Saints have owned the Bucs even without a real good quarterback.
Absolutely.
I love their receiving core.
Yep.
They have had Michael Thomas for 2 years. If he plays a full healthy season, paired with Olave, who I love, and Jarvis Landry.
Yep.
DeMario Davis is still good. Cameron Jordan's still very good.
Yep.
They added Tyrann Mathieu.
Sure.
And I think the Bucs offense is going to take a step back from the last 2 years a little bit. And that's why I have the Saints over them. I think it's going to be close, but I like a lot of what I've seen from the Saints this offseason.
Yep.
And that I'm taking the Saints to win the division. Okay.
And I don't disagree with you in anything you just said. I do think the Saints, and I love what the Saints did. I think they got a lot better.
And I didn't mention, we haven't had Jameis start after eye surgery yet. And the little he played last year, he was very good in the spots he was given.
The only reason I have the Saints too, because I think this is close as well. The only reason I had the Bucs ahead of the Saints is because of Jameis Winston.
Okay.
I think he's going to throw some games away. And I don't even know. Listen, the eye thing, I don't know. Maybe he is much better. I have no idea.
It's hard to be worse.
Right. I think he's one of those guys who trusts his arm a lot more than he should. Kind of like Brett Favre, obviously a much better quarterback than Winston is, but Brett Favre threw some bad picks because he's like, no, I can fit it in there.
Yes. Yep.
So I think Jameis kind of has that in him a little bit, where it's going to lose you some games where the Bucs aren't really going to lose those games they shouldn't. So that's my thing.
I also think Olave is going to benefit a lot from having Jameis as a quarterback.
I do as well. Because
both Landry and Thomas are middle of the field guys.
Yeah.
Thomas can go deep, but Olave can definitely go deep.
Well, right.
And I think he's going to be that long ball option that
Olave is going to be
likes to have.
Yeah, he'll be the field stretcher. I agree. All right, let's jump to the NFC West. I got the Seahawks.
This was easy. This was very easy for me.
Okay. I have the Seahawks.
Yeah, Seahawks 4, definitely.
Cardinals 3?
Yep.
Okay. Who do you have two?
Niners.
I have the Rams.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I think the 49ers win this division. If
I don't hate it.
If Jimmy Garoppolo starts,
Okay.
if Jimmy G is the starter, I believe San Francisco will win this division.
Okay.
If Trey Lance is the starter, I would not be shocked to see them 2 or 3.
Okay.
Starting Trey Lance this year, you're going to have a little learning curve. There's going to be some bumps, and that, I think, knocks them down. Jimmy G is a good quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is good.
Yeah.
Like, he's been to 2 NFC championship games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was 1 throw away from winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I really believe in the 49ers, the coaching staff. They low-key have the Rams number. I can't remember what the stat is, but I think McVay's beat them like 3 times since he's gotten to LA.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
I believe in Trey Lance a lot. I think the Niners defense is already going to be amazing either way.
Right.
And I think, Jimmy G is great, but I think like Trey Lance, if he does reach his peak and play to his potential, which I know you're saying he's probably not going to get there year 1, right?
Right. That's my point.
Yeah. But even if he starts out the season slow, I think he's good enough and has already seen the NFL game like behind Jimmy G. I think he's just such a more dynamic option to throw in the offense.
Fair.
And I could see him winning the division. It's like starting this year.
So you see him, you think the 49ers could be in the hunt regardless?
Yes.
Okay.
Regardless, they're 1 or 2. No matter who, if it's Jimmy G or Trey Lance.
Yeah.
But I think that offense can reach the next level with Lance starting if he plays that well this year. And I think that's the only thing that brings him above the Rams. I think Jimmy G is always going to be a safe option, and he is good, but I don't think you're going to get as many wins as the Rams with Jimmy G playing the whole season.
I understand your point saying the offense is more dynamic with Lance because he's a great mobile quarterback.
And he's got a better down the field arm than Jimmy G.
He does have a better deep ball arm, but I don't know if he's as accurate as Jimmy G.
Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
So,
but in that offense that is so run heavy and run dominant every single year, adding a rushing quarterback to that offense, oh boy, Shanahan's going to have a field day with that.
Right. I agree with that. And I'm sure Shanahan would love him to. The thing is, I don't think Shanahan is just going to start him because he wants that extra dimension in offense.
Right.
Because if he did, he would have started him last year and they would have already shipped Jimmy off by now.
Yeah. The reason I think they're keeping him around is because Lance is he has the potential, but he could bust. So we don't want to get rid of a safe quarterback that we already have on the roster. I think Lance, the only reason you're going to find out is if you start him and you let him play.
Sure.
Or else you're never going to know.
Sure.
And you always have Jimmy G. If you get to the playoffs and we've seen 16 games of Trey Lance and we don't love it, and you always have that option to go back to.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate it.
But they draft Trey Lance 3rd overall. You got to let him play.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. But in games last year where he played, it's he's not ready. But it is. He has had a whole off season, so maybe.
I agree. Last year he wasn't ready, but he was close to ready. And it's not like Malik Willis where it's a boom or bust, but you picked him in the 3rd, so it doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
They traded up to 3 to take a quarterback.
Right.
Now's the time to put him on the field.
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
And I think my argument is I think they have a higher ceiling with Trey Lance.
And I don't disagree with that argument at all. I don't hate that at all. Let's jump into award predictions. Would you like to start with AFC or NFC offensive and defensive rookies of the year?
Isn't it one for each? I just had one.
Okay, we can just do one. I can pick one.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I messed
It's
up on
only
that.
one for each on
Just for
rookie,
rookie? Oh, that's
just
weird.
rookie. Yeah, and then everything else is just one. I can pick just one if you'd like.
I think I can on the fly go to.
Okay, so well, who do you have? And I'll go off you.
So my offensive rookie of the year, I had Brees Hall.
He is my AFC offensive rookie of
Okay.
the year.
And the thing with the AFC receivers is I don't see them having enough, like the situations they're in.
Yes,
I don't see them getting enough volume
right.
with the other rest of the receiving room they're surrounded by to have the stats to win rookie of the year.
Right.
Garrett Wilson, you're playing next to Elijah Moore in an already not great offense.
And Corey Davis is still solid. He's gonna get
right
touches.
So I don't see, as much as I love Garrett Wilson, I don't see him having the volume to win an award like that.
I agree.
So that's why I went the running back Brees Hall. I think he's gonna have a lot more volume and a lot more chances to pad his stat sheet.
Absolutely. The only other option I thought about here was Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I thought about him too.
But I lean towards Brees Hall just because I don't know if Pickett is going to start.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. He could, and I don't think they're going to be very good. And I don't, against those defenses in the AFC North, I don't think his number is going to be very good. So give me the guy I know who is going to get the volume pretty much no matter what.
Yeah.
So that's who I have.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you an NFC offensive rookie of the year. We already touched on him a little bit. Chris Olave.
Okay.
I think because what you said earlier is what I was thinking in my head when I was thinking about, receivers in the NFC. I almost wrote Drake London. I'm like, I just don't see, I think it's going to be Kyle Pitts is going to demand a lot of that volume and eat into Drake London.
Yeah.
Olave, I think, is going to be that field stretcher. He's gonna have the numbers. He's gonna have touchdowns. So I see him as my NFC offensive rookie of the year.
Okay. And I do think Olave is going to have a really good year.
Yep.
But as much as I don't like the dude, I do think London is going to win.
And that's fair.
Just because, Pitts will get a lot of volume, but Drake London's going to get a lot of volume too.
Yeah.
And in games where they're losing and Drake London's that throw the ball down the field to go up and get it guy, he's going to get a lot of those chances.
Sure.
So I think off pure volume, Drake London gets it.
Sure. All right.
And Olave, he's surrounded by better talent on the receiving.
Agreed. And but I still think he's going to be the field stretcher. He's going to have a decent season. Give me your defensive rookie of the year.
Defensive. Yep. So the one I wrote down was for the NFC.
Okay.
I have Kayvon Thibodeau winning the NFC rookie of the year.
I like that. I have that as well.
Okay.
I think he's just going to go in and he's going to feast.
I think he's going to be great right away.
Yeah.
And I think he's a safe option.
I do too. For the AFC, this might shock you a little bit because safeties don't normally win awards.
That's why I didn't think. Yeah, that's why I didn't have him.
I like him for the AFC. I think you could make an argument that he is the best defender that was drafted into the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the Ravens love safeties.
Yeah.
So they're going to coach him up. He's going to be in the right spot. He's going to have a great year.
I'm going to go Sauce Gardner.
I don't hate that either.
And I think a big reason is I'm not going to say he's going to have a Trayvon Diggs season, but I think he's going to have a shit ton of very exciting, insane plays that are going to sway the voters to be like, that dude was insane, and
that's fair.
Give him the votes.
That's
even
fair.
Though his numbers might not be the same as other corners.
Yep.
I think he's going to be a very good player this year right away.
I don't hate that pick either. Give me your defensive player of the year.
So he would have won it last year if it wasn't for TJ Watt's insane sack season.
Yep.
Give me Myles Garrett for deep boy next year. He's got to win one. He's got to win one. He's too good.
I agree. I didn't have him written down, but he was definitely in the back of my mind, and he's just a freak.
He's too good not to win a deep boy, and I think this is his year.
I agree. I had Darius Leonard written down.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Colts defense is going to take another jump. And I think it's going to be spearheaded by Darius Leonard. I think he's the best linebacker in football at the current moment. So I like Darius, but I do think Myles Garrett I mean, he'll always be in the conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
Offensive player of the year. Who you got?
I have Johnny Taylor for offensive player of the year.
Yeah, I wanted to write him.
Had to.
But I have the Vikings winning the North for a reason. Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Justin Jefferson.
I don't hate that. I think with Taylor, it's just I know they want to get him more involved in the pass game.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a better overall offense.
I absolutely agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's not
much more to say.
No, it's Jonathan. You say Jonathan Taylor, you go, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, but like I can't argue that. This guy feel the same way about Justin Jefferson. You just could be like, yes, he's very good. He easily could win this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
MVP, you're gonna hate this on mine, but go ahead.
You already know mine, right?
Josh Allen.
It's Josh Allen.
Okay.
Yeah.
You ready?
I don't know if I'm ready for yours.
You're sitting, right?
Who the fuck are you about to say?
Derek Carr.
Wow.
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
I have the Raiders winning the division.
That's the thing. If you like the Raiders that much, it's not insane for you to have that.
Exactly. It's not going to be because of the defense. We already touched on the defense.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders will have the best offense in the NFL.
Okay.
And it's going to be Derek Carr and Devontae Adams all day up and down the yard.
I hope so. That's why I traded for him.
So I'm going to put a future on him. I think he's like plus like.
Yeah, his odds are definitely good.
I think it's like 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to take my shot.
I don't hate it, man.
Hey, thanks. Thank you.
I thought you were about to say something like really wild, but Derek Carr is not. Derek Carr, it makes a little sense. So
well, only because I love the Raiders so much.
Yeah.
So
I thought you were about to say like Matt Ryan or something.
Oh, fuck no. Fuck no. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in and listening to another episode of the BJ and Tuds Show. Until next time.